Well, good morning, guys, and welcome to the show. Today we have two sexy boxes of Morel amplifiers. We have the MPS 2.150 limited edition, and we have the MPS 1100. Today we're gonna unbox these, see what they have, see what they can do, all the fun stuff that you'd expect. Stay tuned. Up first, we're going to take a look at the MPS 2.150. See what makes this amplifier tick, see what makes this special. Before we do that, as always, we want to take a look at the box and see what we can glean from what is on the box other than the model number. Ooh, we have some information here. This tells us it's a high fidelity class AB amplifier, selectable voltage rail design, 2 times 150 watts at both 2 ohm and 4 ohm. Serial number on the ends, model number, nothing on the back. Let's open it up. Inside we have the Morel credit card style warranty card. I just think it's neat. I keep mine in my wallet because, hey, it's cool. Owner's manual. This owner's manual is for both amplifiers, so when you're thumbing through it, it will have information for both, how to mount it. When we get the amplifier out of the box, we'll take a look at that. Planning installation. Features, power and signal connection, all different applications. 4 ohm and 2 ohm mode. Then we move on to the 1100. And then on the very back here, you have fault codes for the blinky lights. And on the very last page, taking a closer look at specifications, the 2.150 high power mode, high current mode. High power mode, 4 ohm, 150 by 2. High current mode would be 100 by 2 at 4 ohm. At 2 ohms would get you that 150. You could also be in high current mode and bridge it and get 300 by 1. No specifications are given for high power mode. Then some of the other specifications that you guys like: total harmonic distortion, 0.02%. Frequency response is 10 to 80,000 hertz. Signal to noise ratio, rated power, A-weighted, 111 dB. Signal to noise ratio 1 watt. CEA 2006 rating 91 dB. Channel separation 68 dB. Operation voltage is between 8.1 to 16.5 volts. Wow. Operation voltage for input is low 0.2 to 4 volts, high 0.4 to 8 volts. And then it gives you some measurements, which we'll talk about when we get to the actual amplifier. On the top of the box here, you have this velvet cover, and it says Unleash the Music. Velvet, it's thick, it's about a ½ inch. It's kind of nice, keeps the amplifier nice and padded. The whole inside of it here is also velvet lined. It's elegant is what they're going for. When you have this nice gold logo in here. Included in the box is a bag of 3 Allen keys and 4 screws. There's also a backup set of the top mount screws here in this particular one, and some, gelatin stuff here to keep it from doing bad things. Taking a closer look at the amplifier, this is the top here. You have that nice gold badge. It's about a 1/16 of an inch thick, inset painted, really nice looking. On the ends, 45th anniversary, it's that same 1/16 of an inch, just like the Morel inlaid black paint. And then there's these 4 Allen head screws, which are made to be removed for stacking. I'm gonna show you that. The other end is exactly the same. Looking at the back side of the amplifier, heat sinks and those fins roll over into the top. 2 Allen screws here remove the cover. On the side is where all your connections are going to be made. And then on the very bottom is this guy, which is your high current, high power switch. On the inside of the cover is a nice piece of felt, keep it from rattling. Closer inspection, Morel Performance MPS 2.1500 limited. Your schematics for your inputs are located underneath here. Ground, remote power. Left, channel 1, positive, negative. Right, channel 2, positive and negative. Input 1, input 2. Input voltage selector, high and low. Moving down to the far side of the amplifier. Your remote turn on. DC offset, remote, or signal. Left gain, channel 1. Right gain, channel 2. That's right, something you probably have, not seen on too many amplifiers nowadays. A left gain and a right gain, you're gonna have to voltage match the outputs of this amplifier. That's pretty cool. Believe it or not, if you've seen us do amp dynos on multi-channel amplifiers, you'll see that the left and right typically vary quite a bit. This will allow you to prevent that from happening. Looking at the side of the amplifier, your protect light, inside the manual it does have the codes for what blinking this means. Your blue on light, ground is labeled, remote, power, along with it on the top, it is here. Channel 1 left, positive, negative. Channel 2 right, positive, negative. High current light and high power light. That way when this powers up, you can automatically see which mode the amplifier is in. On the RCAs, it has these little rubber covers. Channel 1, channel 2. The switch itself for input voltage. Out is low current, in is high current. All the way at the end, just like it did on this end, 45th, and then the model number. Now before we get to the bottom of the amplifier, the idea with these, that if you remove these two screws, you can order from Morel a bracket that's aluminum, just like this, and you could then remove this one, and you could stack a second amplifier right on top of it. So they're stackable. Or if you want to make your own custom brackets or anything like that, the feet do come off. What that means, if you wanted to hide the screw downs, you can flip it over and attach it like that, and now the amplifier, when screwed into place, you won't have those feet in the way. Removable door on the bottom of the amplifier, 2 small Phillips screws, little metal panel, doesn't matter which way it goes. Inside you'll find 2 15 amp fuses. According to our little panel, if the fuses are located on the inside like they are here, it is in high current mode. If we remove them and put them on the outside here, then we will be in high power mode. Now I know most of you are thinking, well, let's take the bottom of the amplifier off and see what that actually looks like, and I'm right there with you. It does have this little if open warranty void thing, open at your peril. I'm willing to do this for you guys, and let's take a closer look at what we have here. For those of you guys that are big fans of the guts of amplifiers, here's a closer look at the outputs against the heatsink wall. Capacitor bank number 1, number 2, a third one over here. Obviously the power supply. Morel. Looking closely, I don't see any other text in here, funny little names or anything like that. What is missing from this amplifier, if you hadn't picked up on that, is the crossover. This amplifier is crossover free. It has no crossovers. It is a straight power amplifier, old school style. No crossovers, just 2 gain controls. That's it, as simple as it can be. When pulling these fuses out, they are in there really good, as you would expect. So you will need some form of a plier. Get them out. These are some duck bills. That's also why this hole is so big. And it also states on the board, high power versus high current. This is a very pretty amplifier. Very clean, very organized. The inside, you can clearly see this is channel 1, this is channel 2. However, it says it's 150 watts at both 4 ohm and 2 ohm. And that's what we want to see. Let's take a look at some dynamic testing on this and see if we can get those numbers. First test is going to be high current mode, 4 ohm. Without doing too much voltage match work, we came up with 119 and 127. And that's what I was talking about with that variable gain for left and right. We can dial those numbers in pretty precise. In this case, we take the 127 down to 119, means that 119 is the lower common denominator in the 2 to prevent distortion. Next test is going to be 2 ohm. That got us a 203 and a 213. Next, we want to test high power at 4 ohms. Well, as expected, we knew this number would be higher than the 150 that the amplifier is rated at a 178 and a 183. But we kind of thought we'd get a little bit more power at that 2 ohm rating, and we did, about 25 watts. Not too bad. Now let's take a look at the MPS 1100 Limited. As always, shiny top of the box, gold embossed letter. Turning it on to the side. Model number, high fidelity monoblock amplifier, 1 by 1100 watts. Sticker, model number, same. Nothing on the bottom of the box. Let's open this thing up. First up, Unleash the Music, velvety goodness. Same owner's manual. Let's turn to the last page, see what specifications this guy has. MPS 1100, going down the list here. 4 ohm mono, 650 watts. 2 ohm mono, 1100 watts. Minimum impedance, 2 ohm. Total harmonic distortion on the mono amp, 0.1%. Frequency response is 10 to 220 hertz. The signal noise ratio, rated power A weighted, is 102 dB. Signal to noise ratio 1 watt. CEA 2006 is 75 dB. No channel separation. It's a monoblock. Operating voltage 8.1 to 16.5 volts. Input low 0.2 to 4 volts. High 0.8 to 20 volts. This one does have a crossover. Filter slope is 12 dB per octave. Adjustable between 40 and 220 hertz. Subsonic filter is off 25 or 35. Bass boost is 0 to 12 dB. There is an optional bass knob, which is the MPS-R1, and it does have a pass-through pre-out. When we were looking at the 2.150, I didn't go over the physical size of the amplifier, and they're both the same identical size, as you can see here, so that they can be stacked on top of one another if you like, or side by side, or whatever you want to do. The size is listed as 2 inches thick by 6.7 inches wide by 12.65 inches long. Inside the box, it has all the same pieces that the 2.150 has, the card, the Allen keys. Feature-wise, externally is all the same. Let's take this off and see what the controls look like. Morel logo with the MPS 1100 limited silk screened on it. Ground, remote, power. It has 2 positives and 2 negatives. They're bus bars. It's not a 2-channel amplifier, it's a monoblock. Normally it's 1 piece of metal. This is just for convenience. If you have 2 woofers, you can put 1 positive here, 1 positive here, 1 negative, 1 negative. So you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. It really doesn't matter. It's just for convenience. Input left and right, output left and right, input voltage switch. The optional remote level control plugs in here. Sliding down to the far end of the amplifier. Turn on works the same. DC offset, remote, or signal sense. Minimum maximum level control. Subsonic filter is a switch. The off, 25 and 35 are here. Your low pass crossover and your bass boost. Protect, power, ground, remote, 12 volts. Speaker output bus bars. Has those same clear covers over the RCAs. Input, output, push button switch. And the remote level control is an aux jack style controller, and then more silk screen just like it has on the top side here. On the bottom of the amplifier, unlike the stereo amp, there's nothing to see here other than those same 3 screws that I'm gonna remove so I could see what this looks like. And don't forget your little warranty void sticker. Oh boy, the inside of an amplifier. Who doesn't like seeing that? Let's take a closer look. Just like before, your output devices are on the back side of the heatsink here. You have your 6 giant capacitors, your power supply. Looking closely at the amplifier, I really don't see anything else other than the cool Morel logo located right here. And there you have it. There's the 1100 watts. Let's get this thing over the amp dyno and see how much dynamic power it has. Let's see if it'll do the 1100 watts it says it'll do. Dynamic burst mode 4 ohm, that yields 699 watts. Next test, dynamic burst mode 2 ohm. That gives us 1262 watts. Well, there you have it, guys. The new MPS limited Morel 45th anniversary amplifiers. Awesome monoblock, 1100 watts, and a 2-channel that has a dual gain and puts out 150 watts at 2 ohms or 4 ohms. It's pretty crazy. The MPS 2.150. We hope you guys enjoyed this as always. Fernando.
On to the next one, guys.
You guys have a great night as always. We will see you later next time.
Bye.
Bye.